And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
Flying weather Tuesday morning, a lot of IFR here over the southern Bering Sea and especially the Alaska Peninsula and all the Aleutians. Also some pretty good IFR here coming up from the Gulf of Alaska right on up into Prince William Sound, up along the Alaska Range, some areas of IFR, then areas of marginal VFR and IFR right through here with that frontal boundary in the snow and mostly VFR for the southeast coast. Moving on to Tuesday afternoon. Big improvement here across southern Alaska with VFR now off the coast there, right on up until you get up toward the Yukon River there, along the southern slopes of the Brooks Range, northern Yukon, or northern Koyukuk Valley. Areas of big area of IFR here for the western Brooks Range, right on down to just west of Nunivak Island along that frontal boundary, right over the Pribilof Islands. Marginal VFR for the Bering Sea, Aleutians, Alaska Peninsula, Kodiak Island, right into the Panhandle. And for Wednesday morning, the reappearance of IFR here for the southeastern Bering Sea and the ways into the southwest interior. And from about Adak eastward here to Kodiak Island and right up into western Cook Inlet, all IFR here across the Gulf, Kenai Peninsula into Prince William Sound. Areas of IFR here either side of the Alaska Range, marginal VFR along the southeast coast. And let's see what Wednesday afternoon holds. Big improvement from morning to afternoon here. Just some marginal VFR here over southern Alaska, up here just along and south of the east central Brooks Range there, down in toward the Yukon Flats. Nothing too serious though. And IFR right over the Pribilof Islands out west with some marginal VFR surrounding that area. Otherwise, to the west and to the east, looking really good. Passes Anatuvik, marginal VFR. Also for Adigan, pretty marginal conditions. Lake Clark and Merrill, marginal VFR. Rainy, marginal, but windy. Going for a VFR day for Tuesday. VFR also for Isabel Tuesday and Mintasta. Tanita, optimistically, VFR. Portage, though, looks like it'll be another IFR day there. And Chilcoot and White, VFR. Looking at the freezing levels, area of some warm air aloft, 2,000 feet right up over the Kuskokwim Valley. Otherwise, Bristol Bay, across Kodiak Island, and the southern part of the Panhandle, seeing about 2,000 feet or so. And at the surface here, up north of the Pribilofs, down across Bristol Bay, and right along the North Gulf Coast. Icing. A lot of moisture coming northward here. Could see some little bit of moderate icing for the southern Kenai Peninsula into Kamishak Bay. Otherwise, with this frontal boundary and the developed area of snow here, a pretty good chance of seeing some isolated moderate there through this area from the Brooks Range on out into the eastern Bering Sea, angling back into the Alaska Peninsula and Unalaska Island, and another area out here to the west, pushing eastward to about Amchitka Island. And the jet stream here, we're showing at 33,000 feet, southwest wind 65 knots there over the interior, and lighter southeast winds here over southern Alaska. Southeast coast, 95 knot winds, almost, well, just about reaching Port Alexander area there, and then blowing off into the Yukon. So coming down to 9,000 feet, south winds 45 knots in the Alaska Peninsula. Staying southerly here, but diminishing considerably, up to 40 knots on the eastern Arctic coast, again 9,000 feet. And then we've got 40 knot winds, or 30 to 40 knot winds up to the North Gulf Coast areas. And coming down to 9,000 feet, frontal boundary right through here, or at least a trough, one or the other there, 45 to 50 knot winds there along in advance of that system, with the strongest winds farther down to the southeast there. Otherwise, out to the west, northeast 60 knots near the Bering Strait, 40 knots to the western Arctic coast, southeast 45 knots to the Alaska Peninsula. A broad area of northeasterly winds here over the central and western Bering Sea, right on down to most of the Aleutians. Turbulence, bumpiest conditions, or look for some occasional mechanical moderate turbulence here for the northwest coast, western Brooks Range, down across St. Lawrence Island. Also here for the Alaska Peninsula, Another area of considerable moderate turbulence will be here for Prince William Sound, the North Gulf coast, and down the coast of the Panhandle to the Queen Charlotte Islands.